Hello, welcome to this presentation. I will be presenting on a study about the health benefits of leisure participation in the process of acculturation of African international students in South Korea. And we are going to explore the social and cultural adjustment experiences and processes of African students in South Korea and the benefits of leisure participation during the process of acculturation. My name is Irungu Ruth Wanjiru. I'm a student at Seoul National University of Science and Technology. I'm pursuing a master's degree in sports and sports science, leisure and recreation. And my partner and advisor is Mr. Park. He is a he is a professor at Seoul National University of Science and Technology, teaching leisure and recreation and also sports marketing. So the contents of this presentation include the introduction of the study, the background of this study, the purpose and the necessity of this study, the methods utilized and the findings, discussion, and finally the conclusions. So as globalization continues to take place around the world, there has been an increase of international students around the world, moving from different countries to the other, seeking quality education to match up the competitive labor markets and also employment sectors, and also to get good qualification and certification from recognized universities around the world. So for many years, most international students have been migrating to English-speaking countries like the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. However, in the recent years, there has been a shift in the mobility of students from English-speaking countries, and now non-English speaking countries are now attracting international students. For example, in Asia, countries like South Korea, Japan, China, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia have had an increase of international students in their universities. And in South Korea, for example, the number of international students has increased for a couple of reasons. And one of this is because the Korean government has made efforts to internationalize and globalize the Korean education system. And they have put in place policies such as relaxed visa regulations for students. They have also increased the number of international students quotas. They have also increased scholarship programs for international students, and this has led to the increase of international students into Korean universities, and also not forgetting the Korean wave, the Korean Hallyu, which has led to the growth in fame of the Korean culture, Korean pop culture around the world, hence increasing the interest of many foreigners or immigrants towards South Korea. So the number of international students in South Korea has been growing over the years since the early 2000s, and 2019 recorded the highest number of international students before COVID happened, and the numbers have increased after COVID. And most of the international students studying in South Korean universities come from other Asian countries such as China, Mongolia, Vietnam, Japan, and also the US is one of the Western countries that has also seen most of their students come to South Korea to study. So when immigrants or international students move to a different country, it's for the purpose of either personal or career development. And as they are trying to adjust into a new social and cultural environment, adaptational challenges may arise during this period. And this is known as this period where this happens is during acculturation, and acculturation is the cultural and psychological changes that occur when individuals or groups from two or more cultural backgrounds come into contact. So during the process of acculturation, some stresses or some challenges may arise, and this is known as acculturative stress. And this may be caused by certain factors such as culture shock, language barrier, loneliness, homesickness, a new education system, financial difficulties, lack of social support, racism, and discrimination. And this can lead to feelings of depression, anxiety, confusion, isolation, decreased mental health, reduced psychological health, and social withdrawal. However, many scholars in leisure have highlighted the benefits of acculturation during the process as a way of coping with challenges or coping with acculturative stress. And some of these benefits include improved mental health, improved emotional health, psychological health, a better understanding of the new culture that one is integrating into, an opportunity to learn the new language of the new society, social interaction opportunities, adjustment into the new school environment, and also personal development of the immigrants. So the purpose of this study was to explore the health benefits of leisure engagement in the process of acculturation of international students from Africa who are studying in South Korea. And also the other purpose of this study was to fill a literature gap, because most of the studies about the acculturation of international students in South Korea has mainly focused on students from Western countries, students from Asian countries, and there has been limited focus on African students in South Korea. Therefore, the study seeks to fill that literature gap. And the study utilized a qualitative research design, and through a purposeful sampling technique, 14 participants of African descent were identified, and these participants were either in their undergraduate or graduate schools. And the purpose of this study was just to explore and further understand their acculturation process. That is their social and cultural adjustment into the new society, into the new environment that they are now living in. So this is table 1, which describes the demographic characteristics of the study participants. And so data was collected through semi-structured in-depth interviews, and open-ended questions were utilized to further explore or examine for more information where the interviewer felt that maybe the interviewee would provide more information. And all the interviews were audio recorded and transcribed for analysis. So some of the research questions that the study investigated were how long one had been in South Korea, why they had decided to study in South Korea, what was some of the challenges that they had experienced while living in South Korea, and had they experienced any form of discrimination or racism against them while in South Korea, what activities they did during their leisure activities, how participating in leisure activities had impacted or had helped with coping with challenges or adjusting to life in Korea, and how their leisure time had changed since coming to South Korea. So data was analyzed using the Brown and Clark's 2006 six-step thematic analysis procedure. So we first familiarized ourselves with the data by printing out the transcripts, reading them thoroughly so that we could generate the codes for the from the data. We also, after generating the codes, we searched for the themes, and afterwards reviewed the themes, and after reviewing the themes, we defined and labeled the themes, and later did the report writing. So looking at the findings of the study, 5 core themes emerged from this study, and these were the health benefits of leisure participation, and these included the physical, the psychological, emotional, social, spiritual, and health benefits as a result of participating in leisure activities. So looking at the physical health benefits, Most of the participants noted that they engaged in physical activities during their leisure time for the sole purpose of improving their physical health while living in South Korea. So some of these activities included going to the gym, going for walks, going for hiking with their friends, or just working out working out at the outdoor gyms, and this helps them with improving their physical health. So for example, Jonathan stated that he loved working out at the gym because it kept him in great shape, it kept him refreshed, and it reduced fatigue after sitting on the computer for long hours during the day. So most of the students noted that because of their obligations as students, they either had to be in the lab for long hours or they had to go to school. And as a way to rejuvenate their physical health, their physical strength, engaging in physical activities was beneficial for them in improving or enhancing their physical strength and physical shapes. Next, looking at the psychological health benefits of leisure activities. For example, Jackie noted that going to the Norebang was one of the ways she used as a stress reliever. And when she would go there, she would sing her head off, and it would help her feel a relief from the stress that she was having. And it helped her take her mind off things, which was like healing for her soul. The Norebang is a place where you go, pay, and sing for a number of hours of your choice. And most participants noted that they had engaged in this activity during their free time so that they can just help with reducing their psychological stresses, or just move away from their obligations of the day and just have a relaxing time. Elizabeth had noted that she loved watching K-dramas and Korean reality shows. And during this time, like anything, nothing else in her life mattered. So she was able to utilize this time as a way of relaxation and also as a stress coping mechanism. So some of these activities that leisure activities that participants engaged in helped with improving their psychological health benefits. And also looking at the emotional health benefits of leisure participation. So some participants had noted that they had experienced some feelings of loneliness, feelings of homesickness, or having just stressful, anxious time or depressing times when they came to South Korea, when they're trying to adjust into the new school system, when they're trying to adjust in the new into the new society. So engaging in leisure activities helps them improve their emotional health. For example, Becky noted that she had experienced deteriorated mental health since coming to Korea. However, through traveling, she was able to explore new places and feel some sort of freedom. And doing these activities during her leisure time gave her a sense of peace, thus improving her emotional health. And also, some of the let's say, for example, in the because of loneliness, when students would engage in different leisure activities, they were able to interact with other students, and they would be able to socially interact with them, thus reducing sadness, reducing homesickness, reducing loneliness, thus improving their emotional health in general. So looking at the social health benefits of leisure participation, Gloria noted, as a foreigner in Korea, I have really had a wonderful time. I have made a lot of friends with friends from different countries, and I have really expanded my social network and friendships. So most of the African students noted that during leisure participation, they had been able to make friendships not only with other international students, but also with Koreans. Thus, leisure participation gave an opportunity for them to interact with the hosts, who are the Koreans, and also through these interactions with the host, they were able to have a better understanding of the culture and also learn the Korean language, which was beneficial to most of the students, because most of their classes were carried out in Korean. So having a better understanding of the language helped them in their studies too. And also interacting with Koreans helped them understand the Korean culture, while also reducing their perception of racism by the Koreans, because they were now able to bridge the social gap, and interacting with Koreans helps reduce their feelings of racism or discrimination by the Koreans towards the African students. And looking at the spiritual health benefits of leisure participation, so most African students noted that because they came from a spiritual and a religious background, engaging in religious activities during their leisure time helped them improve their spiritual health benefits. And this is because most of the students wanted to have a sense of belonging, or have a group of people with whom they identify with the same spiritual beliefs or the same faith. And these religious groups enabled them to have a form of social support and spiritual connection, and also social support in times of stresses, or in time of need, or in times of challenges. So for example, Jackie notes that I do belong to a church where we have Bible studies. We eat together after church and pray for each other. The church has really helped me with me being spiritually accountable for myself and stay in line. Whenever I have a prayer request, I ask them to pray for me, and they follow up to see if my prayers were answered. I have really grown spiritually with them. Jackie, this is an example of or what most of the students described as to why they participated in religious activities during their leisure time. So, in conclusion, the findings of this study demonstrate that there are benefits of leisure participation during the acculturation period of African students living in South Korea. And this is through the improved physical, psychological, emotional, social, and spiritual health of the students, which gives them a sense of well-being, general well-being, uh, while integrating into the new society and into the new community, and also into the new education system that they are now living in. And also participating in leisure activities gave a rich opportunity for the African students to engage and create and form friendships with Koreans, and also other international students from different countries, or countries from the same from the same countries as some of these students. So it led to the development of intra and intergroup relationships and friendships. So, looking at the intergroup contact theory, according to this study, it was proved by the ability by the African students to form relationships or friendships, or social connections with Koreans. So, according to the intergroup contact theory, contact between members of different groups under certain conditions can diminish prejudice. So as the African students engaged in leisure and socially connected with the Koreans, they felt a reduced perception of racism or prejudice towards them, which helps them feel some form of connection, or some sense of belonging into the new society that they were now trying to integrate in. Also, looking at the social identity theory, it states that people tend to interact with others who have similar characteristics, such as similar cultural and ethnic characteristics, and that people tend to express in-group favoritism and in-group biases. So this is clearly described because most African students noted that it was easier for them to form relationships or friendships with other international students, or students from their home countries because they share the same cultural identities, or also because they share the same characteristics as international students in South Korea, or either because they went through the same challenges, and these formed a basis for them to easily form their friendships. So as I come to the end of this presentation, the findings of this study can be utilized by leisure consultants, academic institutions, and also church groups to provide leisure programs that can be used with helping or forming programs that can help African students, and not only African students, but international students, while integrating into the new education system and also integrating into the new social and cultural environment. So programs such as psychological and emotional psychological counseling programs can be utilized to enhance the psychological and emotional health of international students, and also language and cultural exchange programs which can be used to enhance the better understanding of the Korean language and also the Korean culture by international students living in South Korea. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.